Awesome. Here we go. Welcome. Thank you for tuning in. I don't know what to say except thanks. This is my second video on the channel. My cat always has a tendency to want to scratch at this thing or pull it out. So if she pulls it out, we'll just do what we do. Life is good, and I'm fat. I just went for a run, a jog, and then I had 2 pieces of pizza and some ice cream, not good. So I don't really have any other vices except coffee and food. So I'm going to work on that. Hopefully when the channel continues, you'll see me like, thin out and get some strength and muscles and stuff. We'll see. So what I want to talk to you about today, I was thinking about it, the next logical step to talk about with Jackie Ades is, my cat's getting a little wild, is that to talk about her interview at the jailhouse. But what it was really thinking about was what I would do, and I'm interested in what you would do if you had a stalker like this on you. Like, what would you do? So that's the first thing. And the second thing would be, what is going to happen to her? What's going to happen to her? She wasn't accused of any crime except stalking, which is a big deal, and probably harassment and threats. Those are all big deals. But she didn't commit any violence on this guy. She broke into his house. She took a bath in his house. She broke into his house a second time. She went to his work and said, "Hey, I'm his wife. Where is he?" And I guess his name is Isaac. And she sent him 159,000 text messages. But that's it. Like, she didn't assault and batter him. She didn't do anything like that. So they're going to have to let her out. She has been judged. Wait, let me go to the first thing. Okay, what would I do? What would you do? Like, let me know in the comments. And I don't know what I would do. I mean, if I dated a woman and she flipped out, I would try to reason with her. I'm sure he did that. I'm sure it didn't work. I'm sure he said something like, "You're really nice and you're beautiful," and she is, and all that stuff. But it's just not working out, or I'm interested in someone else or something. I'm really, sorry. You will have no problem finding someone. But that wouldn't work with Jackie. Jackie would keep going like a steam engine right for him. So then if I started to get a whole lot of texts from her, from someone, I would probably respond to the first few texts and, kind of shorter and shorter way. And then I would just stop responding. Whether I would block her or not, I don't know, because you don't want to set someone like that off. So I just don't know. I'd probably block her at some point. I'd probably call the police at some point, because if she's sending that many emails, that many text messages, not good. But the police didn't stop her. So then, if I have a remote security system like this guy did, Isaac in Phoenix, and I was looking at it and she was in my house when I wasn't there, taking a bath, what are you going to do? You just call the cops. You just have to keep calling the cops. And then she's threatening his life. She's like, "I'll kill you. I'll use your fingers as your finger bones as chopsticks." Like, I don't know. It's just like, what do you do with someone like that? Obviously you can't kill him. You can't do that. You don't want to become a murderer, and you don't want to do that. You don't want to have somebody call. You don't want to have somebody, tell her to stop on the phone. You just don't want to engage, So, and the other thing is, he can't change his name or disappear because he runs a company. So, he runs some skin company in Phoenix. So, if you can't escape, you function in life, right? You have a Facebook account. Most people do. You have emails. If you run a business, you have to be reachable online, right? So you have to have an email, a phone number, whatever. I know that a big celebrity in Los Angeles, I called his number once, and it was his personal number, but he has someone else on the answering machine. So you don't know it's him. It's like, you've called 310-519, da, 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 da. Please leave a message. So And it's not the guy's voice, but you can't do that if you're a normal person, you're not a celebrity, and you need to get business. So I don't know what I would do, man. I would want to disappear. I'd want to change my name. I'd want to keep my address secret, but I don't know if you could do that. I don't know what you can do with someone like that, you know? So anyway, let me know if you want what you would do with someone like that. If there's something I'm missing, you know? You just have to keep calling the cops and pray that, you know, they don't get violent before they get locked up. It's a terrible situation, really, for this guy. Now, what I was thinking, what I wanted to know was, did the guy sleep with her, right? If he slept with her on the first date, they went on a one date. She said 3 in the interview, but from what I understand, it's one date. Like, if he slept with her on one date, not that he deserves any of that stalking and harassment, he doesn't, but you got to be careful as a guy, in my opinion, sleeping with women on the first date and then not wanting a relationship with them. I understand the temptation. I know what it is to be a guy and that incredible drive you always have for sex and for attractive women. Like, I get that, but you gotta refrain on that. Like, if you don't think you're going to want a relationship with her, or that's not an option, you can't sleep with them. You just can't, because it's not always the case, but it tends to really involve them emotionally, and that's, you know, I feel for the woman too. So anyway, I you know, unless I talk to Isaac, I don't know how I can find out. So anyway, let me know what and if you do anything differently from what I'm saying, which what I'm saying is basically just wait it out, call the cops, document. That's all you can really do. And if you're if you don't have a business, like, you know, if you're independently rich, or you just, you know, you change your address and stuff like that. I don't know what else to do, you know. So anyway, let me know if you want. Second thing is, like, what happens to Jackie? Okay, she's in prison in Phoenix. She was designated by the psychiatrist, by the court, through the psychiatrist, as being incompetent to stand trial, which makes sense. If you see her interview, she is all kinds of in her own world, man. I mean, she is just out there. And so the idea of, like, being insane and not being able to stand trial is that she's sick. Like, someone who has schizophrenia hears voices and stuff and can't control it. Like, it's not fair if they do a crime, if a voice was telling them to, and then you put them in prison for the rest of their life because they were really ill at the time. The whole thing is to get them treatment until they are sane. And then I don't know what happened. So John Hinckley, was that the guy who killed John Lennon? I believe so. He said he did that to impress, that's my cat, to impress Jodie Foster. He killed John Lennon outside John Lennon's apartment in New York City. I remember when that happened. I remember when it came on over the news. And he's been in prison a long time, and I think he's actually been in a mental hospital, not prison, and they released him. He killed John Lennon. He went up to John Lennon, shot him with a pistol right in the head. I mean, and they released him. So I guess he must have become sane in the mental hospital for the decades he was there, and then they released him. And to me, that's crazy. I don't think you can ever release a guy that does that. And I'd be really curious about the conditions of his release. Like, does he have to check in every week with a psychiatrist? Is that like part of the mandated conditions of his release, right? Because you want to make sure he doesn't start to regress. I mean, God forbid he does something else. Like, once he's released, he does something else. He kills somebody else or something. Like, what is that person's family going to say? It's like, how could you release that guy? He killed somebody. How do you release him? So that I don't understand. But again, getting back is like, Jacqueline Ades, she didn't do any crime. Like, when she broke into his house and took the bath, the police say they found a butcher knife in the car. So that's terrifying. When she was asked that in the interview, she said she had a flick knife, like a little pocket knife, because she was traveling on the road as a single woman and she needed to protect herself. She said there was absolutely no butcher knife. How do I know? I have no idea if there was or not. But if there was, that's terrifying. So, but she's still, I mean, you can't keep her in prison, right? Because I mean, what is harassment or stalking going to be? A year? Or it's mostly like probation the first time, right? So they're going to have to release her sometimes and sometime, and then she's just going to be going again. So I don't know. I don't know. It seems like if you release somebody because they committed a crime when they were mentally ill, that they should have to check in with a mental health professional once a week, twice a week, something like that, to monitor their condition. It just seems like, I mean, how do you know if you've cured somebody for life? It seems like with this John Hinckley guy, is they must have been like, okay, he's cured. He like, we given him the medication for the schizophrenia and he's fine now and he'll be fine for the rest of his life. How do you know that? Like, how do you know that? So if I was this guy, I would be scared. I would be terrified that she's coming out, and I would mandate that anyone released from a mental health facility after they are deemed well by the psychiatrist, and I'm granted maybe they are well, you know, that they should have to check in with somebody maybe twice a week just to monitor their level for the rest of their lives. I think that's appropriate. Let the person have total freedom in all other respects. You know what I mean? I'm not saying like wear an ankle bracelet. I'm not saying keep them locked up for the rest of their lives. You know, that's really sad. If someone's really mentally ill because of sexual abuse or terrible physical abuse or just because they're born that way or it's in their family, like that's really sad, you know, that they, and it's good that they're not like sentenced for the rest of their lives for something they did when they were really sick. But I just don't think you can guarantee the safety of society by releasing somebody. So I think a good middle ground would be to check in with them a couple times with a mental health professional after they release. So that's my idea. So I don't know, this whole case just got me thinking about, man, just love and stalking, and it's really surprising how attractive she is to me. You know, that, I mean, she could have a lot of men, and, you know, you just could not tell by looking at her that there's something wrong with her. You know, and even in the jail interview, like she's very cognizant. Like she answers the questions directly. She understands them directly. She puts the reporters off on on questions she doesn't want to hear. Like she's really there, man. You can't tell when she starts talking about, you know, E equals MC squared equals love, and she was the person that figured out the equation for love, and that Atlantis is under the earth, and that's why the whole number is 33, and 33 is like the number that led her to him. Like when she starts saying that stuff, then you're like, okay, whoa, what? But it's like you don't even see that coming, because she just seems like the normal girl, you know, who's just talking about some topic. So anyway, this is the second video. I think I'm going to talk about the interview briefly, and maybe that's it. Maybe that'll wrap it up. She's here in Phoenix, you know, and it'd just be interesting to see what happens with her, like how long they'll keep her there, and when, you know, I don't know, can they force medication on someone? That's kind of a scary idea, you know. She may need medication, but it's like, can you force it on somebody? I don't know. But anyway, what a trip, man. It just, you know, it just, I feel very sad for her, honestly. Like, I'm not making fun of her. I mean, it's sad that she's like that she has that obsession, and that, you know, that she thinks it's okay to go into his house and take a bath, and she thinks like she's the primal woman and he's the primal man, and she has all these philosophies and stuff. So there's a video online. A young woman says that she was her friend in Florida. She was Jackie's friend in Florida beautician school, and she has some good insight. So maybe in the next video I'll add that down below for the comments. So thanks. I'm just trying out this channel. I'm just interested in this case. It just opens up the whole question of mental health and love and stalking, and what the man's responsibility is, and when people get released, what should happen. And the fact is, you know, she didn't do anything to him except harass the heck out of him and stalk the heck out of him. But you can't put her in prison for the rest of her life. You have to, I just don't know what the laws are, but it's interesting. Okay, thanks a lot. Second video. If you've watched it, I appreciate it. And, you know, leave helpful comments, thoughts about the case, stuff like that. I appreciate it. Thank you.